Kia ora no hoki mai and welcome back. And we are at Massey Park in Papakura as we continue with our double header. And great to have you with us wherever you're viewing the action. Of course, it is local rugby league as we turn our attention to round one of the Women's Championship as well. Pleasure to have you with us here. And it's Counties Manukau, the Stingrays, lining up against our wahine from Waikato ko Dale Tēnei. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And beside me, Lamalu. Monty Betham, Neta Tamiki Kakwe, Te Rangatira Monty, kia ora. Always good to have an opportunity to commentate Women's Rugby League with you this time around, and the women's games on the rise.
Likewise, Matua, great to be here and chat the great game with you, and in particular our Wahine tour. Wonderful talents across the board, and especially here at the grassroots, and a step up from that in the regional championships that we've seen that as a national championship.
Well, this is the first game in the Premiership as well, so a pleasure to introduce you to a number of these players who may be on the rise. And of course, what we're seeing with the NRLW, the attention that's been afforded the international fixtures here with the emergence of national teams representing Samoa, Tonga and the like. Women's Rugby League has never before enjoyed the platform that it is enjoying now. And so we've got a chance to witness some young players who may go all the way. There's plenty of experience in here as well. And when we look at the Counties Manukau squad coming off the back of another solid performance again by Papakura, who came back to win in the last minutes of the Women's Premiership here locally. We've got some fine players on show. Waitua Fetarika is one example as well. Kanetra Nathan, there's a few debutantes in the mix. Lisa Edwards-Rua will be familiar, having come across from the other side, literally, to play for Counties Manukau this year. Keeping an eye out too for Annalise Biddle, who will be coming off the bench today for Counties Manukau. Her sister's running around in the NRLW with the Cronulla Sharks. So there's a fair bit to look out for here. And as far as the Waikato squad, well, something of an unknown quantity as we look at their lineup today. Precious Iripa up the front row as well with Tamaki Whatarangi, Ngarongo Pirama and Dudley, with Rita Porima Romana at the back as well today in jersey number 18. Out wide, we've got Armani Shepherd and Roy Mata Crawford. A little bit of shuffling around as far as numbers are concerned. The coach is John Taituha. And so a little bit of an unknown quantity, but isn't that part of the fun of the fair, Monty Betham?
Absolutely, going up against opponents or people that you haven't contested before, don't know a hell of a lot about, so it's the filling out process, understanding, and then once you understand that player, sort of knowing that if you beat them one particular way, you need to keep working on that and not reinventing what works for yourself as a player.
Well, just looking at the Counties Manukau squad, of course, many of you will be familiar with Maitua Fetarika, played for the Broncos, if you'll recall, and a powerhouse. Cheryl Stowers last year was at the Vulcans. Cornelia Nathan is something of an inspiration within the team. She's got two little Pepe as well, and still enjoying herself out there. And Lisa Edwards-Rua was with the Vulcans last year. Freja Pokaia as well from Akarana, and we're looking forward to having your company too over the next 70-odd minutes. These games played over 35-minute halves. And just having another look around Massey Park, there might not be too many people on that side of the field, but there are plenty more back behind where the camera staff are. It's a great place for watching rugby league. And, of course, there's a prominent athletics track for the Counties Manukau region. That's Joe Price. He played a strong game in the earlier match. And that was a win for the Counties Manukau Stingrays by 40 points to 0 over the Bay of Plenty Lakers. Thanks so much for tuning in as we see these, well, in some ways, certainly for Waikato, unknown quantities making their way out onto the park.
Yeah, unknown right now. Before you have the 70 minutes kick off in front of you, but by the end of this match, you know, for some of them being seen for the first time on TV, it could become a start of what becomes household names, especially in future years when you're aspiring to potentially play in the NRLW, the Kiwi Ferns, amongst other number of national sides that you can represent as Wahine tour in this country. The opportunities are limitless, Dale, and it all starts from occasions like this as well.
As mentioned, Lisa Edwards-Rua will captain the squad. She'll be in jersey number 2 today. And the captain for the Waikato squad is Honor Wilson. She'll be in jersey number 7 this afternoon. So we will once again observe a moment's silence. It has been a momentous week with the passing of Kingi Tuheitia, and of course many of our Waikato wahine would have been at Tūrangawaewae across the past 7 days for his tangi. Most beautiful of images cast around our country, but to pause and acknowledge the kingitanga. Te ranga te moi mai rā. Haere te rā he Tuheitia, po te tau te wherawhera tuawhitu. Moi mai rā takoto, takoto, takoto mai. Thanks so much for pausing, turn that you might have done so at home. As I say, it's rocked the kingitanga to the core, but also we acknowledge the new mahi for our Queenie Ho, Ngāwai Hono I te pō. And we wish her well in her mahi as the new head of the kingitanga. Ka aroha ki aia. You're watching this on Sky Sport. We know one of our fellow broadcasters, Taylor Curtis, has been running around with the Otara squad and has made this one a rep fixture. Listed in jersey number 4, but we're picking she's in 5. Is that the way you read it there, Monty?
Yeah,
you know her well enough.
She's on the wing and she's in 5, so that means that I think it's Wati the Lai Loma Loma, who's probably in the number 4 jersey.
Just alter that on our list here. And for both of us, first time meeting a lot of our players from the Waikato, but certainly acknowledging the mana of the rugby league code in and around the Waikato and the many who play it. And I'd like to also acknowledge the Tūrangawaewae and Tani Wharau rugby league players whose role it was to help King Tuheitia up the hill.
Sorry, Dale, the collisions were big then. Couldn't help myself.
Oh, he says, as we get underway, and here comes the first kick of the afternoon. It'll be taken in deep, where Lords Tuiala gets hold of the ball for the first time here this afternoon. And Tuiala's tackled 20 metres out from the try line. Poimatangi Matautia will be playing in jersey number 6 today. Defensive work coming in out wide for Waikato. And it's Journey Muruhauraki in jersey number 5 here for the Waikato Wahine. Pleased to have you with us here this afternoon as we bring to you all the action from the women's and men's premiership. This is part of the double header from Massey Park in Papakura. 18 is Oreta Porema Romana. And now out wide and angling in the white jersey, or the white numbers on that hoop jersey, sometimes a little bit tough to pick up. That might be the case for you at home. Finally, we reveal a number 12, which is Daisha Rairi. Kick over the top. Waikato allowing that to bounce. We'll have to be a little bit careful there, and the referee will pull it back.
Inside the 10, perhaps. Crystal Towers pouncing on that ball. Now, what a defensive powerhouse she is in that time chasing the ball. It's all the effort areas in her game which makes her excel as a rugby league player.
Konui kicking to the grandstand side of Massey Park. Great opportunity, though, for young, aspiring players who want to make a name for themselves to get some of their footage onto a shop reel. As mentioned, some players have just come virtually out of nowhere and now playing in the NRLW. Case in point, Nessa Biddle out to the right side as Waikato try to utilise the football and make some inroads here. Of course, the Stingrays, as with the previous case against the Bay of Plenty Lakers in the men's division, would go into this one as favourites, having been there and done that in this competition over the years. But this is where reputations are forged and where opportunities arise. Holding it up nicely as Waikato. That ball's been jarred loose. And then a double knock on. Alea Oronui, or Konui, my apologies. Couldn't quite hold on to the ball. As we get another look out wide, it's been jammed anyway with some solid D coming in from Edwards Rua.
Yeah, jammed her hard. Really good read on defence. As you see there in this situation. Really did come off her end, read it well. Come up trumps. Already some big collisions from the Wahine out there today. Waikato Stingrays. Still feeling our process very much happening between the two as they go backdoor play. They go wide. Just missing both players.
The Waikato whānau just stood up so beautifully. Waikato Tainui hosting what some estimate to be 100,000 visitors through Tūronga Waimara, and I would guarantee that many of these wahine are turning out today playing rugby league would also have been there in the kitchens, involved with all the logistics of hosting so many people in what was a tremendously meaningful and special week for the people of Waikato, Tainui and the wider motu, as the first penalty goes to the Stingrays.
Yeah, it was a big carry too, coming into contact. The leg drive and pushing, refusing to give in, the twists and turns, but not quite holding on to that ball. Referee ruling, having a go at the ball.
So it's the Stingrays with the football, charging into Nikita Garongo Porima, making the tackle. She's in strip number 13. Everyone wants their hands on the ball just to get rid of those pre-game nerves. It's been a couple of weeks since the final was held. For our women, holding it up and back up the middle comes Taumalolo. Begana Taumalolo playing it 20-odd metres out from the try line, through the hands, always threatening as well, through Pormatangi Matautia Taylor on the far side. And then driven towards touch on the far side of the field. Taylor and Sam Curtis, quite a feature in the Otala squad this year. But really made to feel welcome. And for me, looked great in the Otala colours of the Scorpions.
Yeah, rugby girls by trade and coming up to Auckland, the big smoke, and then chancing their arm at the game of rugby league, and by all counts, been enjoying what they've been doing. Sam Curtis, in fact, who's not out there today, was an absolute pace, but Taylor Curtis has been known as a very good broadcaster, getting amongst it as well. Just defensively, once again, Crystal Stow was in and amongst it.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to call a game of women's rugby with Taylor too, and she knows her game backwards. And of course, they used to go down. Her old man apparently always encouraged the girls to come out and watch footy. They love playing footy. And she did also some study in broadcasting and media, so it's good to see her on Sky Sport. Fellow broadcaster with the home of rugby league here in NZ. So with the football, Waikato here, 6 minutes gone, no tries at the moment. Back and sensibly thinking about field position with the kick, and that's a doozy as well. Beautiful kick.
Is that a 40-20? It'll be very, very close indeed, I tell you. She was back. She knew she wanted the ball. And we're just going to have a look right now.
Not quite the 40-20.
Not quite the 40-20, but I tell you what, she had it set. She knew what she was going to do. So just missed the 40-20. But I tell you what, though, it's something that she can do, is put boots to ball and be very, very good at it. So watch out. And once again, the rush defence from Waikato, up in numbers, forcing them back.
Well, you might wonder about the pride as that's coming through this past week, and whether that's going to surface here through the efforts of these Waikato wahine. I just think they've got something to unload here today. That ball back on the inside this time pays off. A little bit of risk with it as well, as the Stingrays have the football now. And it's through the hands of Pumatangi Matautia. On to Taumalolo once again, and Anna goes with a good carry. She's wrapped up by the big number 10 too, who makes the tackle here for Waikato under pressure. Here's the crossfield kick. Clever thinking, but it's out on the full. And Waikato breathe a sigh of relief. They'll get the football finally.
Yeah, I think both teams trying to overplay their hand, going a bit too wide too soon, and really not just getting themselves into the match, which is just complete their sets, do what works, get over the front foot, be nice and direct, and play out the sets and kick nice and long. I'll tell you what, though, it's been met with enthusiasm from both sides, led by the Waikato side.
So they've got hold of the football. They're not a big unit, are they? They're not. They haven't got the big props that perhaps the Stingrays have. But what they have, they lack in size. They might be able to make up for in enthusiasm if Tomalolo makes another good tackle as well. 25 out from their own line. Dummy half here for the vice captain Paiko, Capri Paiko. She's got plenty of experience as well as Muru Hodaki has the football and will play the ball eventually out of dummy half. Paiko darting forward and picking up a couple of metres, then offloads nicely out to Crosby. He's wrapped up Trinity Crosby, dragged to ground. Now they're just inside enemy territory at the moment, and Crosby looks to have twisted an ankle or something of that nature. Porima Romana gets the kick. Now the bounce is going to be a tester as well at the backs for Tuiala. She does get hold of the ball, Lourdes. And she too is nailed in the defensive work of the hard-running number 8, Precious Iripa.
I see them going through the hands, a few passes there as they go ball to ground. Nice quick play, the ball get over the advantage line. These are the sort of carries we were talking about. Strong run indeed. Numbers in the tackle, but fighting. So quick play the ball.
That's delay Luma Luma with the quick play the ball here. And now she'll play the football. The Stingrays on the boil, solid D as well across the top. Iripa wants to get herself involved in the mix as well. That's solid play from the number 8. Well, they know they're in a bit of a battle here. The Stingrays out to the right-hand side. Numbers if they can get it right. And looking for the pass. There was no one to pass to that time for Day Luma Luma.
Well, she was involved early in the yardage, players carrying out for her team, and then involved late in the end as well. Ball going to ground. I just get the sense, feel that no one's taking the leadership in terms of the halves for the side, getting to particular points and everyone being on the same page. For the Stingray side, I tell you what, they will be a force when that comes into play. But conversely, for this Waikato side, some very good ball carriers as well. Mentioned number of players a little bit slight in stature, but Journey Muru Hodaki, she's been very strong.
Alia Kornui is getting herself involved also here. Waikato very reliant on the experience here of Capri Paiko. That's her calling the shots at the moment, dictating which way they'll be running. This is a more solid carry as well from Iripa. Precious to her feet, and they'll continue down the left edge. That's the kick downtown. It's taken at the back here again from Lourdes. Tuiala really willing to get herself in the mix as she runs into Crosby, centre field, and again Muru Hodaki is proving to be a handful for the Stingrays on attack. She's defending strongly, and at 13 is Ngaro Porima. So certainly hanging in there with their more highly fancied opponents. That pass has slipped forward. The referee's allowing that to go on as Curtis gets hold of it on the far side of the field. She too loses the ball as she goes to ground. I thought for a moment that it just drifted forward, but the referee was well in line. It'll be a turnover possession. Waikato Wahine with the football.
Yeah, we go down the short side there. It's a show and go. Pops ahead through the line. You had post support play there. Taylor Curtis picks it up, but she is unable to hold the ball. It still feels to me that both sides are playing quite nervous. They're not completing their sets. They are not quite sure on what they're trying to go to, like getting to a particular point on the field and then playing some shape and some skill off that. It's not been the case so far. It's a little bit more ad-lib. Could play the ball.
Everyone just needs to have a go, and this Wahine certainly is doing that. Jani Muru Hodaki, she's been fabulous so far in the match. 12 gone, no scoreline here at the moment. As Waikato starting to feel like, hey, we might be able to make something of this. This is Ngaro Porima. Over the halfway line she goes. Paiko calling the shots with the football. Down the left-hand side, working Waikato, looking for the double around. Up they come in defence as well, though. Good solid D there from Delay Loma Loma. Paiko, good hands. She put him at Roma. No, and that's solid across the top.
That's a big shot, Dale.
I reckon. Precious Iripa. Well, she knows she's in a match, that's for sure. The big prop. Chip over the top. At the back, waiting for it. Tuiala taking it nicely. And turning, in fact, coming off the wing. This time, look at this run. Fantastic. Curtis. And she is streaking down the left edge. She'll have the wheels to go all the way, Taylor. That's a wonderful finish as well. Well, a length of the field tried here for the Stingrays, but it was set up beautifully. I think it was Edwards Rua who went back to get the football. At first thought it was Tuiala, but certainly able to link up on the far side and find Taylor Curtis, who had a clean pair of heels for those wanting to catch hold of her.
I think it's Shanice Pihema with this big run here. You see her beat multiple defenders as a looping run comes back in on the inside and just knows that she's not going to have the pace to get there by herself, Pihema, but she knows that Taylor Curtis has a bit of pace, change of direction and yardage too. She's gone too much there. She puts the ball down. She opens the account for the Stingray side. Wonderful full-length effort there from Taylor Curtis there to back up what Pihema was able to do deep in from her own territory.
There's a late jersey swap there, so it can throw us out slightly. But we certainly know Taylor Curtis when we see her as well. And, yeah, she had the speed to get away from those chasing her on the far side. One try, but it took 15 minutes thereabouts to score it as well. So that's encouraging for Waikato Wahine. They certainly started the game with a lot of purpose and a lot of attitude as well. They're going to need every ounce of that too going forward here in this one against the Stingrays. Coming off the back of their great efforts last year. Quarter hour gone. And just looking for the extras here. But overcast, as you can see here in Tamaki Makaurau today. There's a bit of rain overnight. But the track here at Massey Park, named after former New Zealand Prime Minister Walter Massey, out here in Papakura. A little bit overcast, a bit of rain around, but the track actually in pretty good nick. They're looking to add the extras here. 4-0, will it be 6? Taking an inordinately long time to get the kick away, and in the end, not even close. 4-0, it remains.
I thought it was a good kick. The chase was just as good, but they all bunched to the right. Pihama just in and away with the big fin, don't argue, and just splits the defensive line. As she runs back, she changes the ball. Should be another hand. She knows she can't quite get there. Then watch out, Taylor Curtis. Look at that change of pace. In and away, gone. She knew she was going to have too much to get across the line. And it's something you can't coach, which is speed. And it's something that Taylor Curtis has got plenty of.
Shanice Pihama, really the one responsible there for setting the flying winger with an opportunity down the left corridor. 16 gone, one try here. What's an intriguing encounter in round one of the Women's Premiership. Alia Kornui to get the Waikato squad underway with the restart. A little bit slow as they move forward. They need to get up quickly and make the tackles because they're full of purpose at the moment, the Stingrays. They'll be buoyed by that try, and they'll be wanting to go back-to-back and quickly as well. 25 is in the mix. Also here for Waikato. I don't know what happened here in a poor play of the ball. The referee will say, hey, we'll pack the scrum down, and Waikato will be very pleased about that.
Yeah, Muri Hauraki, she's everywhere. Big body, big presence, but even trying to create with the ball and defensively, just in the wrestle there. Able to do that when you're trying to fight to play the ball. She loses position. Put that down to the efforts there of Muri Hauraki. As they have the scrum down now. Come out of their own end. 18 minutes gone here. First match for Counties versus Waikato. We've seen them come out from the scrum play against the grain. Multiple defenders in that tackle. Come out to left now. Drops under, goes wide. Little show and go. Oh, look at that squeeze in between the two. Big defenders.
Well, Poco's just got to start directing the traffic around even more so as the number 7 makes her effort in there. Honor Wilson, the skipper. She'll get to her feet. Wilson, everyone's lining up. This is Iripa once again with a good carry, good solid run this time. And here come Waikato. Poco wants the football instead, earns a penalty. She'll be tempted to go with a quick tap as she looks around at her teammates. You guys ready? She's thinking to herself. Yes, and away we go. This is Picky Jean Hecker, sweet. And a sweet run as well. Gets herself 5 metres out from the try line. Look out. Waikato starting to ask some questions as well. That ball is out and into the hands of the fullback who chimes in. Looking close as well, the number 1. That's Vainu Milo. Muru Hodaki, once again, solid. And her attitude, absolutely. Poco holds it, turns it. The 13 comes crashing towards the line, but couldn't get there. That's Ngāroa Portima, so close. Inches away from the try line. Through Kornui, keeping it alive as they look to create an opportunity through Honor Wilson, who's flung to her. Flung to the ground, Honor Wilson. Getting the ball out to the fullback, who quite obviously couldn't quite get there. Had a decent go at it too. Vaini Milo.
Oh, they went for the power play, didn't they, Dale? That time not able to get through, but you chanced your arm, and when you looked at what they could do with the ball down this end in the opposition 20, they look like they've got a lot of threat indeed. Now they're coming out of their own end. I love the line speed that you see coming off the line here. Numbers in the tackle. Plenty of enthusiasm here from Waikato. Let's quick play the ball. Run from half.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And Precious Iripa is there, but the damage is done with that intent too. That's the way you've got to do it. Pick up the ball and really make people start thinking about it. That's Jorel Loto. And she's experienced, Jorel. She knows. Got to pick that ball up, go gassing towards the defensive line. Big up sort of our wahine on show here today. Really the growth area of rugby league here in offshore as well. And with the introduction of a Warriors NRLW team, you think it's just going to absolutely continue to kick goals. But Jorel Loto knows what to do and when to do it. With the football comes Deishar Airi. Downstairs on the tackle, doing the work on Wilson. She's very busy, the skipper here for Waikato. Paiko in defensive mode, keeping the ball alive down the right side. Good run this time from Mary Solovi. She'll play the ball as out to Loto once again. Slow to her feet. Solovi. Loto. Setting it up. Creating the foundation for the next couple of plays. That's the way they're rolling at the moment as Crystal Stowers pushes the ball across to the left-hand side. Runners down the end. And this is Sani's Pihama. She's to her feet. Pihama. Oh, beautiful hands. Solid carry towards the line. Just really millimetres in it at the moment. Waikato under the pump, and from dummy half, that's just too straightforward. Too easy for Mary Zolovi. Plenty of experience for Mary. And she knows that when she looked up there, saw the open opportunity, she wasn't going to be invited a second time.
Yeah, she knew. She saw the signs and the cues, retreating, guys not being able to be back on side. There was a number of ways or defenders she could have picked and chose then. But it's one thing to know where to go, but it's also to have that power, that absolute brute force to just dive over. She just hurt her hand moments before that up the field, but still found the strength and resolve to get across that line for her team to score the second try. Some very good ball carriers in the Stingray side. A little bit clunky at times in trying to get those combinations together, but when they do, watch out.
Well, with the likes of Crystal Stowers, has been around for a long time. At the back, Tuiala. We've got Pokaya, really, who hasn't sort of been introduced as yet. But Kanetra Nathan, all these players know their way around a footy field, and so they know when it's the right time to make a move. Lisa will get the conversion responsibilities once again. Yep. Honor Wilson is number 18 on, so I'm pleased to know that. Rather than 7, some of the lists we get delivered all over the place. Thank you to Honey, hitting me a smiler. Maybe she should be right in here beside us. Do you think there,
look,
my friend?
She is an absolute pioneer and one that has done it for these girls over a number of years, and she's still doing it for New Zealand Rugby League, for Black Ferns, and also in a deputy chair position on the board. She's very passionate about Women's Rugby League and the Wahine Tour. They get involved, and I tell you what, you would be with the amount of talent that is around the country. So we endeavour to get everything right, but sometimes the lists that get put forward to us are not always the correct lists, Dale.
Well, tradesmen can't blame their tools. I understand what you're saying. Just suffice to say, and I hope you know that we respect all the players who have made these teams and get out on the track representing their provinces. And even if we might get their names wrong, we do admire and respect them for the mucky that they've done to get into this situation. So if you're looking out for Honor Wilson, can play. Keep an eye out for jersey number 18 here for the Waikato Wahine. So 2 tries after 24 minutes. Waikato can hold their heads high. That's another good carry too. Strong. Frisia Pokaia powers her way forward. Muru Hodaki once again liking the attitude. A lot of the team could learn from what Jenny is doing.
Well, she's an athlete. She is a big body that is just wanting to have a presence for her side with the ball, without the ball. She knows her way around the rugby league paddock, and she wants to impose her presence, which is what I love. That's a strong carry once again. Pokaia. Frisia Pokaia.
Tap and go. Liking this attitude that's on show here. Good defensive work coming into from Kornui. Quick play the ball. And sliding in is Edwards Rua to do the dummy half work.
At time, Crystal Stout was swamped by a number of the Waikato women. They go back door, no front door. It is through, direct, inside shoulders. What a run, took some stopping. And she's in. Maitua Fitarika, I think it is. Lady that we've seen around the scenes for a very long time. Kiwi Ferns player. Player that's also played in the NRLW, I'm sure. She's been an absolute talent, and look at this line that she chooses to run. Little short ball, beats multiple defenders, cuts back across the grain again. Too strong, and scores that one, Dale.
Number 18 here is that Frisia Pokaia? I think so. Well, big breaths going on at the moment here, as we can understand why. So, 12-0. Looking for the extras as well here for the Stingrays. And that is duly achieved. Another look at that. Good carry.
Yeah, wonderful carry. Very strong when you got her on the edge. Iceland defenders running it inside shoulders. Very hard to beat.
Pitarika. She's played some ball across in Brisbane as well, and so she's got plenty of experience. Here we think we might have worked out what's going on here, but we'll continue. As far as the way that these players are listed, we'll do our best by anyway. That's all we can do really, as the county squad have the football here. And they'll be getting full of some confidence at the moment. It's a good carry as well. That's Lesoa. Will get herself to her feet and then pushed along one wide of the ruck. Coming forward as we come to 27 minutes or thereabouts. Eclipsing that more towards 29, apologies. Now Waikato will get themselves involved in the game. They'll have to. At the back, the ball has gone behind. Couldn't quite work that one out as well. Monica Samita in jersey number 20 for the Stingrays here at the moment. Konui. And the Waikato Wahine. Now they just need someone to put their hand up and say, righto, follow me. Wahine Ma. That might be just the carry that is needed at the moment. 21, Janaya Kingurewi.
Porima. The carry loses possession, unfortunately. Those are the carries you're talking about. You said, put your hand up, who's going to go? That was one after the other. The first here, very strong. But just not being able to hold position in the ball. Opportunity now for counties. Well, in the half of Waikato.
Scrum being set over in the far side of the field.
That's Bahima that time with the ball. Pretty sure I got it wrong. Dara Loma before. Bahima. Irwadurua now with the play of the ball. They go down the short side. Cleaning numbers there, the show and go. Hold to her feet. Can she offload the ball? No, not the case.
Monica Samita getting herself to her feet as well. Luto. Nice ball out for Biddle, who's got it now. Annalise Biddle, wrapped up by her opposite number. Once again, it comes out to Samita, pushing the ball on. This time, Pokaya gets herself into position. Pokaya to play the ball now. Punching across to the left again, and Samita goes out of dummy half and goes towards the line. The referee's right there, though. He said that Monica Samita has been held up. And so we'll reset that one as well, but the confidence levels are starting to grow, certainly here with the Stingrays. And a turnover of possession, which will be most welcome by the Wahine from Waikato. Impressed with the work of Monica Samita. And now the defensive qualities will be tested here for the Stingrays. Quick play the ball needed. Spirited run, this time from Waikato. Janaya Kingurewi. With that powerhouse run, another look, getting it across to Brave. This player, not so big. As the ball has gone to ground, straightened run here, Waikato. Can they make some inroads here to the Stingrays as we come to the last stages of this first half? Into the hands, and it's sent downtown. And at the back, Tuiala has hold of the football.
It's a wonderful kick.
Brilliant. went all the way downtown as well.
Captain Honor Wilson, that time kicking the ball from deep, and then the chase just as good as you see them come off the line. Taylor Curtis now for a chance to try and get her out.
She's wrapped up out wide by Arnie Shepherd. Now, Stingrays, 14-0. Will they be satisfied with that? Curtis gets the ball on the far side of the field, and now it's the foot race. Back on the inside, looking for another red jersey to link up with. Dummy half work for Edwards Rua. Across she comes. Plenty of willing workhorses here at the moment through the forwards. Lovely play here from the Stingrays, putting the Waikato Wahine there well and truly on notice. Samita, once again, has the football. The referee will come on in and have his say as well.
That time, Kipari Paikau offside. She's been very good for the side. When she gets out of dummy half, she's just very educated. She knows what she's doing, the strike and her knowledge of the game. She looks to create for sure that time. A little bit ill-disciplined.
Getting to her feet is Lesoa out of dummy half. And look at this run. Powerfully towards the line. Coming up just a metre or two short. And a quick play the ball here for the Stingrays. Everything's in line for them at the moment. That's been touched by the skipper. And so it will be another set here available to the home team, the Stingrays. Quick play the ball for them. And now on the boil comes Annalise Biddle. Biddle towards the line. Biddle still going. Wants to get the pass away. Trying to slip it out the back door here to Chance Piema. Out of dummy half. There's the line. Can they get across the line, though? And the referee once again says, I think you've held up. Back it up. And so we are still going. 14-0.
Yeah, wonderful defence, wasn't it? Look at that.
Oh, fantastic
nice
defence.
And low, the strength as well, but two getting underneath.
Sending the heavy artillery this time around into that front run. And one of the players down there, you'll see in back play, there'll be some concern shown. And on the far side, just coming up short, number 7, Joel Loto. And that's the hooter in the background to wrap up at halftime. And some concern for the player who went down as well. You'll see the medic connections from Waikato. They're high-fiving at the moment. They think that they're well and truly in touch at 14-0. You'd have to think that it was a pretty good effort here from the Wahine who have travelled up State Highway 1 from down the lane. And the Stingrays enjoying the lead here in round 1 of the Women's Premiership. Live from Massey Park in Papakura. Here on Sky, it's the Stingrays who lead Waikato in the Women's Championship by 14-0. Kia ora, welcome back. It's 14-0 at the moment, and many might have expected it to be a little bit stronger in favour of the Stingrays, who've played top-level footy for plenty of years. The Waikato Wahine, though, they've certainly lifted themselves as well. And to be at 14-0, they'll give themselves a bit of a chance here. They'll have to lift their game, quite obviously, but they can hold their heads high as well. The Waikato players up against this crack Auckland-based counties Manukau outfit. Let's have a look at the highlights of that first half. And this was a kick that was retrieved at the back and eventually finds its way into the flying winger's hands. A nice little push off here, Monty.
Yeah, I think the Lai Loma Loma and what she was able to do and come from a long way out as well. Actually, that was Pihama, I should say. But then when she passed the ball on the inside back into Taylor Curtis, once again, that speed to do what she did, come forward and score that try. The first one of the day, actually, for this very good Stingray side.
And the next try as well, that was powerhouse work, really driving up through the middle. And that gave the Stingrays the momentum, the confidence, and then just one of those straightforward tries from straight out of the bat. And then the last try of that first half too, down that left edge, and that was a lovely and purposeful run.
Yeah, very good, very strong when you've got a powerful ball carrier on the edges. She's been around the game for a long time. Beautiful line that she chose to run, and just the power, the fleet-footed and the balance that she does to get over and score that try was well needed, as now they get the words at half-time.
Great to have you with us here, Massey Park here in Papakura, round one. We'll take a break back for the second half coming up very shortly right here on the home of rugby league in this country, Sky. And we're back with the Stingrays, who are enjoying a 14-0 lead. Bit of range just started out at Massey Road, Massey Park, I should say, and Papakura as well. It'll be a little bit problematic too on our camera staff's lenses, but certainly the Stingrays are out and ready for action too. In jersey number 13, that's Crystal Stowers, hugely experienced as well. Crystal knows her way around a footy team. Beside her, Monica Samita had a lot of input into the quality of what we were witnessing through that first half. And the Stingrays women keeping themselves fresh at the moment, as well, just making sure that they're all getting their hands on the ball as well. Michaela Poimatangi Matautia is the standoff today, and still awaiting the return of the Waikato Wahine. Conceded 3 tries in that first half, and just keeping themselves busy as well. So here come the Waikato Wahine once again. Well, they've kept themselves in touch, Monty Betham, and so if a few things fall their way, they could, again, challenge here. But at the moment, the Stingrays a lot more experience and perhaps the firepower needed as well. They'll be enthusiastic in their work in the second half. There's no doubt about that, because they're full of character, Waikato. Whether or not they can handle the juggernaut that is County's Manukau Stingrays, well, that awaits to be seen.
Enthusiasm, character, those are 2 ways to describe this team. 2 very, very strong traits, and they've got some ball-playing ability across the park as well. Good kicking game, a number of guys in there who can kick, especially the captain, Honor Wilson, but, you know, across the board, you know, even from dummy half, Capri Waikato and what she's been able to do, and even Romata Crawford, who has been outstanding in that first half.
So we'll get underway with the restart here from Alia Kornui. Great to have you with us here on Sky Sport, bringing provincial, NRL, international, you name it. Rugby League is how they are rolling at Sky. And here's the kickoff. It's deep. Stingrays will be keen to get that one, and it's been, in fact, a knock-on. So a great start for Waikato. Great opportunity for them.
Great time now for that enthusiasm you mentioned to turn into some points, and this really will put it on the Stingrays. Waikato's side can get some points early on here.
Well, Anaya Karena is about to feed the scrum here. She's only 10 metres out from the try line. At the back is Paiko, with the shield peel off the scrum. We await to be seen. Karena feeds the scrum straight out. Paiko does take it straight away onto Wilson. So a settler is needed, and not trying to do too much. Kornui is wrapped up in the tackle. Still 10 away. Paiko into dummy half. Here comes the 8. On the run is Precious. Edipa. Paiko again down the left channel, holding it up. Wilson, that ball's gone down. Coming back to get the football is the captain, the referee, calling a knock on. No, they're going to go forward. He suggests that it has gone back. Waikato in possession. Once again, Precious, Edipa, attracting plenty of attention as well, but she's a willing operator here. Carts the ball forward with a great deal of confidence. The skipper back on now to Kornui. Comes back into the traffic. Does Kornui get the ball down? Referee was well positioned. He too says she was held up. So we'll back it up here. But wouldn't it be a shot in the arm here for the Waikato Wahine if they're able to get across the line and pick up 4 points? Really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Referee's just waiting here as Kornui is to play the ball. Angling across field and then wrapped up. Ngarongo Porima. Nice pick up from Paiko. Keeping it alive. Fullback chimes in Milo. And she can't get there as well. Good defence out wide here. Curtis coming in from the left wing to make the tackle on the flying Milo. Wrapped up is Stella Tamaki Whatarangi. And it will be Stingrays ball.
Well, that's disappointing. They had a number of sets there to try and throw a few questions or pose a few questions to the Stingray side, and they did that. They questioned them a few times, but just a disappointing way to end that, not get the ball in goal and get a repeat set to go again. You see the big side now coming out. Terrific carry, strong. Pihima.
Chinese PM with the play the ball. Stingrays. Edward Jador keeps the ball alive by popping it, propping and popping.
And Swarmy defence too.
Yeah, it was good D too from Petatia. Right channel. Anything? Having a decent look around at the moment, the Stingrays. Their reserve bench looking on too as well, and enjoying the game, enjoying the lead, 14-0, same as at half-time. That kick, wow, it almost ended up in the hands there of Amory Shepherd. But she too has knocked it on. Curtis comes up with the football for the Stingrays. Plays it back for her teammate out of dummy half. Easy meters. Delo Loma is out on the left edge now. Samita out of dummy half. Right on. Over the top they come. This is looking enterprising, looking good too as Tuala chimes in. And then the line in sight and over the line. That's a wonderful try down the right edge. Brilliantly scored. And it took a bit of building, and the combination was very, very good. And the try eventually is credited there to Shani's Piema, who is in the score for the Stingrays down the right edge. That's her with the football.
Well, early ball is all you need when you've got an athlete like that on the edges, on the flanks. She did take some stopping. Went through a number of hands to get to it. Still had a bit of work to do. Shani's Piema. Very athletic, very strong, and was devastating in the first half. And this time, she scores a try to start off the second half. Yeah, players like that, early ball's all you need. They'll do the rest. They're special.
So these don't get any tougher. Right on the chalk on the far side of the field as well. Frisha taking the kick from wide out. There's a bit to be done here, but she has the benefit of a bit of wind behind her. Great to have you with us. Hitting that one nicely as it got the legs, just not the juice behind it there, Monty B.
Yeah, not quite enough. Tell you what, that was looking good. It was online. Bit of work to do, as you mentioned, hardest from that corner. We have another look now. It comes back door from Crystal Stowers. Movement of the ball early. Still a lot of work to do. Has to palm off 1-2, get through, carry a third over the line. And that is exactly what Shanice Behema did.
Well, you mentioned just how impressed you were in that first half with Shanice. She's been around a bit as well here in the local club competition. And once again, it was the Papakura Wahine and Richmond who battled out for supremacy in Women's Rugby League in the local competition here. But big ups to all of our Waikato squads as well, who fought tooth and nail to get hold of the silverware at the end of a Waikato season. That one's just gone through the hands, and the referee will say, come on back, and rightfully so. A little bit of a mistake there at the back.
We can't do that. It's twice now. Consecutively, you missed the opportunity to get that ball in your hands and do what is an elementary start, which is take the kick off and run. Would have been in good field position as well. Now is the time. You can see her out there, Anna Wilson, the captain, pointing, directing her players, telling them where we wanted to be. Now's your time.
Nikata feeds the scrum, and it comes out to the skipper, holds it up nicely. She reads the game well, and coming in from the back is Mila, the fullback. So she's put on her back. Will take a little while to get up to play the ball. It's delivered up nicely there now. Paiko down the left edge and over the line on the far side of the field, inside the 10-metre line. Great defence as well on the effort. Kornui had hold of the football, angling back towards the line here. And then driven backwards with some solid D. Stingrays saying, no, not on my watch. Here's Paiko, gets it first up. Now the big players looking to go through the middle, and again the defence is hearty as, and repelled on her run is Precious Eripa. Here's a step and a straight and two towards the line, coming up just a millimetre or so short. Waikato still threatening, and over the top. Here's the run for the corner, and the slipped pass was smart as well. It was coming from Shepherd, didn't quite hit the mark, but the thinking was there.
Had them scattered from the left side of the field. They shifted all the way to the right. You thought that they're going to get over. It's the best they've looked so far. It's Waikato. I thought they were going to get in. Fortunately not the case now, but they get another chance at it. You've got to think that this Torrent defence won't be able to put up with another effort from this Waikato side.
Well, they just need to maintain what they were up to, the angles that they were utilising, the intent that they were displaying. Let's see if they can get there as Paiko once again. Onto the skipper, turns it back onto the inside, picking up Ngarunga Porima. She can't get there, she's to ground. 5 out from the try line, still with Waikato. Fancying their chances, taking a bet on whether they'll get across. Well, might be a shaky bet because the Stingrays are full of commitment to their defensive work. Here's the chip over the top and the bounce back, very close, but ultimately coming up empty-handed is Alea Kornui. She had a go, I'll give her credit for that.
That's all she does is have a go, Kornui. She's been very good, at times a little bit unpredictable and on her own. At that time, it wasn't all quite going the way they needed to be in terms of being on the same page. But she just tried her arm, chanced it, and she almost got there. And then once again, though, the defence there to meet the Stingrays.
Well, there's plenty of improvement in both of these squads. There's no doubt about that. As we see once again, Stingrays with more direct running. Out to the right this time. And Waikato Wahine, well, they continue to show some character here. They're having a tough time of it all, and certainly outsized here this afternoon at Massey Park. Slightly to the feet as well here. And the cut-out ball over the right. Now, Waikato need to just stay on task. Easy for the mind to drift at times. Out of tummy half. Making another darting run as well. Jorel Loto. Jorel's been good, and then utilising the little kick over the top as well as PM once again really creating problems. And at the back, it's Honor Wilson.
Yeah, second effort there too. That means they get the penalty, they get out of their own end. Now Waikato get the chance through penalty, so they better kick to relieve some pressure.
Some running repairs there for Monica Samita.
Walking wounded. You see you get out here, come down the short side. Oh, Landon, bit of friendly fire.
How good has Jorel Loto been today as well, though? The number 7 here for the Stingray. Gee, she's been good. Samita, obviously, plenty of discomfort. And the medical officials are certainly helping out at the moment. Let's pause for a moment. There's a tough game out there as well for some of our players with smaller physiques. Find themselves right in the heat of battle. And that looks like a knee or an ankle at the moment. We'll just see.
Well, I know when they're looking at Monica Samita, they're checking out the stability of the knee. There was a number of checks there for ACL and medial, and she looks to be fine now. She's hobbling back, checking how the structure is, and I think she might be coming off a rest, Monica Samita. So be happy there's no serious damage done there. Never love to see injuries. It's a brutal game, unforgiving at times. As you mentioned, different bodies and shapes. It takes all sizes, speed and skill sets to make a team a force out there on the field.
Pretty buoyant, though, the images from the bench there for the Stingrays. If you've just joined us too, a big 40-0 result as well for the men's Stingray squad. They were too good this afternoon for the Bay of Plenty Lakers. That game at midday. Today, this part of the double header. And this is of concern as well, because Honor is really the brains here beside, as far as steering the ship for the Waikato squad. And she's down as well, getting some attention. The tap taken. Quick play the ball. Let's see what Waikato can throw at us as well. 70-minute games here for Wahinema. Kia ora no, good to have you with us here on Sky as we bring you live action from these regional competitions, regional games as well. Waikato, Akarana, of course, the Stingrays in the mix. Wellington Orcas as well. So plenty to look forward to over the next 4 or 5 weeks. This time it's Kornui. There's a lot of kicking on behalf of Waikato. But again, when you're kicking, you've got to be accurate, and that's not the case here. So it's a turnover in good field position here for the Stingrays.
Yeah, they're just really struggling to get out of their own end, and it doesn't help when you get a chance from the middle of the field. Options to kick either side. You put that one up, and the kicking part of the game has been good today for Waikato. And on that time,
such an important part of the game too in modern rugby league, and when you're in tournaments such as these. So some muscly work coming on at the moment here. Stella Tamaki Whatarangi getting herself involved. Mary Solovi is the distributor here for the Stingrays, calling for the quick play the ball. Frisia Pukaya with the play the ball, and now out for another hard charging forward. He gets them within 12 metres of the try line. Solovi goes to right edge. Lovely little ball once again to this damaging player who's in to score yet again. That's Shani's Piema. And Piema scored the last try. That's back-to-back for her.
well, originally there's question marks on the pass to her on the short ball. Left it late as possible moment to take it. But Piema, she comes down. We'll call it marginal, call it line ball, but then once again, look at the stopping it takes to get her. One thing to hold her moving, but another to hold up that ball.
And she's a genuinely big centre, isn't it? I mean, she's been wonderful today, setting up her teammates for runs and scoring 2 fine tries on her own as well. So certainly Connections will be very happy with the way that Shanice has played.
Yeah, she's a big centre. She can create for others in and around her, but for what she does in the threat and her ball carrying ability, first and foremost, if you're a defender outside her, you've got her in the forefront of your mind. You've got to make the play on her, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. And then, even then, you probably need some support to help out.
Frisia gets another opportunity to improve her stats here this afternoon. 22 points to 0. Still 20 to play. This could become a big scoreline, but really hoping once again, as we did in the last game, that they're not overawed by what they are confronted by. That's in the Bay of Plenty Lakers. They're able to hang with the Stingrays, and we say the same here too. On behalf of the Waikato Wahine, as we see once again that try from Piema. Goody right at 24 points to 0.
Yeah, second look at that. Loto, he wrapped up a number of times today, just going to the line and just passing at the last opportune moment, which was just spot on. You know, even the run threat that she has going to the line, and you're defending, you've got one and Loto inside you, and then the runner outside you, and Pihama. it makes it very hard indeed.
Kornui gets us underway again. He's got to fight for.
Oh, you got to put your
every
foot out over
opportunity.
the line.
Should really have. Oh, and then busting straight through as well. So a weaving run. Gee whiz. Waikato really having the screws applied at the moment, aren't they? Again, the Stingrays recognise where there's some mileage to be gained, and it's right up the middle of the park. And that's the corridor they'll utilise at the moment. Now they're looking to work it down the right edge. This is beautiful play once again. Pihema again. Is this going to be 3 in a row? She is strong. She comes surging towards the line and only about 5 or 6 metres away from the try line. What a game she's having at the moment. Charlize Pihema. Up the middle they come. Is there a hole in there? As Elizabeth Peretila is forced to make the tackle. Little halfback. And then the turn and the charge. This time around, it's Carlene Lesoa. And the high tackle. It comes into play as the referee calls them back.
That's right, need to suck it in now. Show a little bit of resolve on their line. Waikato. Defend this up. Numbers to the right now already if they don't need it. Wonderful job holding the ball up there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that call as well. That was Annalise Biddle.
Need to shift numbers to their left. That is defensive line of Waikato.
Out to the right-hand side, look out. And there's the cut-out ball as well to Lisa Edwards-Rua. So they're coming thick and fast now. The tries for the Stingrays really utilising the dominance that they've had in field position and in possession and making every post a winner at the moment as they utilise Lisa, who is wide out. The high fives are coming in, and understandably so. It didn't all come in a rush, but certainly now they are very dominant. Their confidence levels through the roof. That's a wonderful try. It was well set up, and the finish by this talented and experienced wing, undoubtedly deserving. The squad have been really playing well and utilising each other's skill sets very well across the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, defensively, it's easy if you look up and there's no one in front of you. You've got to find someone, and you've got to count from outside in. And we see it a number of times at about probably 2 or 3 tackles to try and change that problem, move some defenders across. They're really short on the left there, and in the end, it's exactly where they chose to go, out to their right, and score a try, as we see now. Pokaia with her chance.
So Frisia, another tough one as well. Will she have the legs this time? She didn't quite hit it last time as hard as what she needed. She might lift it. This time a little bit of wind behind her. And again, the accuracy not too bad, but, well, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, that's for sure. As the old saying goes. But they're looking pretty good at 28 points to 0. Kia ora noa te iwi, good to have you with us here. And don't forget, over the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll be bringing you action, men's and women's rugby league. Each weekend, a couple of games each weekend, as we count it down to the final series. And the men's side of the draw as well. Play each other once. Top 2 teams playing off for the championship. Of course, there's promotion, relegations, etc. So there are a lot of issues at play. If you'd like to know more, dial up NZRL, New Zealand Rugby League, and you'll get a sort of idea of how the championships and premierships will unfold. Stingrays again with the football. And congratulations to the coaching staff here from both teams. Here's to play the ball. Yeah, so they're still with it. Kia ora tūla whānau down there in the Waikato. And apologies, I think we started off with our team list all askew, but I think we've got it reasonably right now. We'll make sure that things are more accurate next time around. Just everyone getting back into the groove, I suppose. For those teams that and connections, making sure that they all follow through and everyone knows who's who in the zoo. We know that lady. That's Curtis, of course. Right there in front of the post, there'll be a turnover. And Waikato will get hold of the ball. And they need it too. But there's a player down as we speak, and that's the vice captain, Capri. Got a message there from Wairangi. Proud as Waikato people. Glad to have you with us though here on Sky. Like I say, plenty to acknowledge, to celebrate as we bring you this provincial championships and see the best of our regional players. Now, is that one going to find its way to touch? It will.
It's a very good kick indeed, isn't it? Gets them out of their own end, right deep into the territory of the Stingrays. Best chance now to attack. Best chance has been for a long time.
A little bit of push and shove there, but nothing much in it. Wahine gets just as Hoha as blokes, so you can understand why there's that surfaces every now and then. And there's the penalty as well. So can Waikato make something of this? And for holding down the tackled player, Capri Paiko is there. Now she needs some support, Paiko. Waiting for the referee's call. That's duly been given. And so there's the first settler. Good opportunity as well. Tamaki Whatarangi up to play the ball. It looked like a little bit of a knock. The referee's allowed it to go on, and this is Eddie Parr, and I've got to take my hat off to precious Eddie Parr for the mucky that she's been doing. The back rower this time with the football. Porima, good D though as well. Let's not take it away as from the Stingrays. Through the skipper's hands and now to Kornui. She'll keep it alive. Back it goes to Ona. And driven towards the touchline on the far side too. Will it be play on or just checking with the referee? He says it's been a knock on. And so we'll have a turnover by the looks of things. That's exactly what happens here. In fact, the scrum's to be set.
Well, they're keeping the ball alive, even in contact. They're managing to get some tick and phase out. That time being held in, tying with the ball.
The times it's lacked the fluidity that you'd hope for too, but that will come. A lot of these teams are really just working on the combinations as well. A lot of the players, obviously having played against each other in club play, would know of the strengths that their teammates carry. But as far as getting the cohesion, it comes in time. Well, in week one, maybe that's not as evident as it might be in a couple of weeks' time down the track. So Waikato still scrambling, still doing their very best, but there's been some good play as well. And PM, as an example, having scored just a couple of doozies in the last 10 or 15 minutes, is a reminder of the threat that exists right across the park. Quick play the ball down the right side, having another look too. As Counties Manukau get into hurdle mode. Lovely little carry that time around. Brilliant. Taumalolo. And this is another follow-up run. Powerful, direct, and ultimately making some really good inroads. Edipa once again still getting very involved in her defensive work, calling it for the inside, and then the kick into the in goal. It's read at the back nicely. Kornui comes up with the football, but she too is driven towards touch, trying to finish her off. She's a couple of metres out from her own line and about 2 metres in from touch down the far end of the field.
Opportunity now defensively for Stingrays to get up, really be aggressive in defence. They are holding their line somewhat. That time, Crystal Stowers once again getting nice and low, driving tackles, something she's renowned for.
Peeling back the meters once again. Paco, well, she's really been the best here today. You'd have to think for Waikato, as far as the involvement is concerned. There have been a couple of injuries as well, and the captain here, Honor Wilson, well, she continues to impress with her attitude.
Roy Mata Crawford, she was extremely good in the first half. Nice little touch here. She can get on top of the ball. Tries to play it with the boot instead of jumping on it or picking it up.
There's a bit of polite play there, I think, that you wouldn't normally encounter.
But they have tried a few things, you know, sometimes enterprising, a little bit unorthodox, but that's what you need to do. When things aren't going your way.
Poimatanga Matautia. Michaela. And number 6 for the Stingrays too has been exceptional this afternoon. Peretila is berated for what was deemed a high tackle. Let's have another look. In fact, it's the effort there of Tamaki Whatalangi. Actually, it's pulled up by the referee. 28-0. Curtis has done some nice finishing work. She's the benefactor of a lot of great centre partnerships that she's been able to profit from. Dalo Loma Loma. On one side, Shanice Piama also. So the wings have been benefiting from that solid play through those centre combo. And now we're just 6 or 7 metres away and looking at the opportunity for another one. And that is just direct angle, beautiful angle as well. And really, there was no stopping that charging Stingray. Just picking up who it is.
I think it might be an Elise Biddle. Yeah, that's who it is, an Elise Biddle. Once again, how do you stop these wonderful ball carriers when they're in line like that? You know it's pretty much one-on-one. Split the two defenders, actually, which makes it even more difficult because it's just arms tackles going at it. You have to get in behind some shoulder and some body to try and stop these two weapons that are out there on the edges. And Elise Biddle. First try of the day, but tell you what, she's all smiles.
And she should be too. It's great to see Annalise out on the scoring list. As well as mentioned, her sister's having a run around with Cronulla, who I see have signed her to 27, so that the Warriors will probably look to sign her sister as well. But you keep playing like that, Annalise, you'll be joining your sister, no doubt about it, going forward. There's a great finish, great angle. And Edwards makes no mistake from close range. Well, just on 6 to play here. And it's ballooning out somewhat here for Waikato. But again, bear in mind that the Stingrays have been perennial finalists as well and, you know, champions before. So 34 points to nil. I'm sure the Waikato team will get even better going forward. But everyone's got to start somewhere. That was the case with the Lakers earlier in the day. And I'm sure that they'll improve as well as the tournament goes on. We'll keep you an idea of what's coming up next week too at the back end of our game, where we'll hear also from representatives of both teams. Really pleased you could join us here on Sky Sport today. Plenty still to come across the weekend, obviously, with NRL action still pending. And while the Warriors aren't there, there's still plenty of great games to enjoy as we count it down to grand final day. Not so very far away. Stingrays. They've got some more in them, do you think, Monster?
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of thread out on the edges for both these sides, but particularly for the Stingrays. Either side of the field, come through the middle as well. 1 hour play like that's not going to help your cause, although she manages to poke her head through. Crystal Stowers played the ball to boot.
Well, it looks as though Counties Manukau have got the Orcas next in their sights. And for Waikato, well, they're up against the Auckland Vulcans, so there's plenty still to come here on Sky Sports coverage of our local and regional rugby league. 34 points to nil. Tries coming thick and fast. And for the Waikato squad, really just haven't been able to match it here with the Stingrays. Chock-a-block full of players out of Pakuranga and Rotala. And they've done very well also. Great to see some Wednesday night league on Sky Sport also. As the skipper looks up with something of a bewildered look, and that's a solid hit, wasn't it?
Oh,
once again.
That's a try scorer, Biddle. This time showing she can do it without the ball as well. Crunching defence as she jogs back out to her edge.
Yeah, and that was Aliyah Kornui, who's been working hard herself. But Biddle absolutely monstered her. And here's the kick from Anna Wilson. Down at the back, taken by Tuiala. No problem. Good eye. Great effort here today from the Stingrays. The connections will be pretty comfortable with the way this group of talented rugby league players from the Stingrays have performed here this afternoon. Everyone's contributed, including this powerhouse. Lisa Edwards-Lua to play the ball. Solivi. The bookends, the prop forwards have been terrific here this afternoon too for the Stingrays. They continue to just push their way forward and carry defenders with them. Each time there's one or two on their backs, it shortens up the defensive line considerably. Straightening on the run here is Poimatangi Matautea. Fullback has a look, threading the needle. Doesn't work out exactly as planned as Kornui is there to rain on the parade. Still trying to charge their way through, and this time, Sinai King Lewi. One out running easy pickings here for a skillful defence, and that's certainly the case for this county's Manukau squad. As I say, this part of the city of Auckland, the south side, have really lifted their game as far as performances, with Papakura Mandarua traditionally strong with women's rugby league also. And big ups to all who've shown ongoing support for the development of our women's game across the years. A bit of a chat yesterday with Crystal Roto, kind enough to give us the numbers for a couple of the connections. But as you can see, it's been a solid performance here for the Stingrays. They'll be pleased with their efforts here this afternoon. 16-0 at the break, converted out to 34 here as we approach full time. But they deserve plenty of credit as well. This county's Manukau squad. Papali'i, their coach, also will be well satisfied, you'd have to think. Maybe they're still not done there, Monty. There's Curtis away from one, then gets the offload, still alive, still going. Don't be at all surprised with what comes next. Here they come, Stingrays, wanting to put some icing on the cake or an exclamation mark on the result. Angling across to the line, looking good, and into score, and deserving of that 4-pointer as well. Ana Taumalolo.
Well, she's been good. They all have been. And to score a try like that from left to right, back through the middle again, through a number of sets of hands, even in collision, refusing to dive off the ball, bit of an offload. It's wonderful play. It's what you've come to expect from a team like this, the Dolphins. She's been good. Taumalolo.
Absolutely. Ana Taumalolo has been running hot today. And she just really wanted to score that try, and you sensed it was coming as well. Some big efforts here this afternoon. Gerard Loto was right on spot. Maitua Whitirika. We've seen Tuiala chiming in, certainly a standout performance from Shanice Piama. And hats off as well to Annalise Biddle, who continues her march towards more recognition in the women's game. Frisia Pukaya as well has contributed well. At least will get the opportunity to finish the game off as well. 1 from 3 this afternoon, but another solid scoreline. It's going to be the same as the men's game. 40-0 for the Stingrays, the men's against the Lakers. And looks as though that's how we might finish up here as well. As mentioned, it's an athletics track here. Great to be at Massey Park and Papakura on this overcast Saturday afternoon. And just looking to finish things off here. And away it goes. There's the hooter in the background. Too good today. And the county's Manukau Stingrays make it 2 40-point results. Fantastic all-round team performance. At Waikato just couldn't travel with them. They will improve the latter, though, going forward into the competition. But hats off to these talented Wahine Rugby League playing counties Manukau Stingrays. Too good, and they win this one 40 points to 0. Well, Monty, there's obviously some disappointment here for Waikato, but they know what level they're going to have to play at if they want to be competitive against the top teams in the comp.
And there's moments of the games when there's some fresh-faced names and players looking very good indeed, but as you do, you get older and you play better with the more time you get amongst the quality performers out there. And I think both teams had a few new names in and amongst the scattered talent that have been there for some time, but it's a nice way to start Premiership with these girls, and I'm sure they're just going to get better and better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We get a chance to have a look at some of the highlights as well and get some thoughts also from those behind the scenes. But a few celebrations there as Counties Manukau enjoy their first success of the year. Let's have a look at some of the tries, and particularly looking good for those who are Stingrays supporters. And another great opportunity to see Pihema on the fly.
Oh, very good. A lot of work to do and beat multiple defenders with a swerving run, realising she couldn't go the whole way, so she's looking for pace, and pace came in, pace in abundance. Taylor Curtis with an away change of speed herself to get across to open the scoring account for her side and for the game, in fact.
There's a lot to like here. The big forwards certainly carved the pathway through the middle, and they were able to profit out wide. This was a barge over or sliding underneath, I guess, when the quick play the ball close to the line. And this was another lovely carry once again, and going all the way. That's as good as they get.
Yeah, Fetarica, a very well balanced ball running on the edge, very hard to stop indeed. And you talk about people that are hard to stop, you go out here and fantastic work throughout the day. There was a number of tries in what she was able to do. Piham, she, look at it, once again, very strong. She looks great for those outside her, but that time she was too strong. She went all the way herself. We said there was not enough numbers out the left. You had to make the adjustment. Couldn't quite do that, so they were able to score on the edge again. But this one, nice and close, just to the edge of the post. Nice and strong. And the final try for the day went through a number of sets of hand. They started off left. Curtis keeps it alive. She comes across the grain. And just the ability to keep the ball alive through a number of these guys, get back and realign, and then even in contact, offload. It's really good. And then Ana Taumalolo, she knew what she wanted to do. She wanted to finish off, and finish it off she did.
And she finished it off with a lot of class, as well as these two teams come together. We're hoping in a moment we'll get a chance to have some thoughts from the two captains. Well, here we are. These are the results we can share with you so far today in the National Men's Premiership. 36-6, the Vulcans over the Akarana Falcons. 40-0, the Stingrays across the Bay of Plenty. That's in the men's side of the draw. And as you can see, the Falcons turned the tables there on the Vulcans in the other game that's been played today in the Women's Premiership. And a 40-0 result. Also in the mix, the Bulls and the Orcas, the Whalers and Waikato also. So look out for more rugby league coming, and you won't have to wait very long as well, because you can go and watch some NRL tonight, and then you can watch a little bit more of our National Premiership as a build-up tomorrow as well. The Otago Whalers, who can surprise many, lining up against the Counties Manukau Stingrays. That's what you can look forward to next Sunday, and another opportunity for the hit out as well. So good to have you with us. The warm down at the moment for Waikato, and looking across their squad, a young squad, but a hearty squad as well, and they will have learnt from the experience here this afternoon. And we're just waiting to see whether we can link arms with our kaimahi down on the ground, as we see the Stingrays as well warming up. They've got a lot of talent there, a lot to build on as well. So 40-0 sounds good, but they can get even better.
A little bit clunky across the board really for mine, and I think I took both sides a little bit nervous coming into it, not really on the same page. So that bids well for the competition if that's what you see in week one. But for the Stingrays, they only can get better. There's no doubt about it. And the confidence that you take for this young side too, going up against the best, seeing what they've got, now you've had a gauge. Now you know what the top is like in terms of the ceiling, and you can keep building towards getting higher and higher up to meet that mark.
Well, I think we can see Lisa Edwards-Drew is the captain here for the Stingrays.
Able.
Down there at the moment with our man Fred down on the field. Let's go down to get some thoughts from Honor, the captain of Waikato, and of course Lisa, who is the captain of the Stingrays.
Well, Honor, first game of the season. How do you feel the team went?
No, I think that was, first half was a good grind from the team, especially being our first game together, like ever. It was good to learn how some of our girls play, and we can only build from here, I guess.
And Liz, it's a tough game, wasn't it?
Yep. As Honor said, mean start to it. Hasn't been the best lead up that we'd enjoy. Unfortunately, we lost our kingy last week, and that really has been something that we've been holding over ourselves. We've been making all day and then trying to get into training in the evening, so there's not really been that time to really mesh as a whānau and get those plays going. I think we're still finding our feet, and we've still got that belief in us to go well this season. So we're watching this space, and we're going to keep working and building from here.
It has been a hard week for the whole Waikato region, hasn't it? As has had the tangi and all that, and so that has been super disruptive for the teams, all the Waikato teams.
Yeah. Where our finals for our Waikato region is still running, so a lot of these ladies that play today will get up and go again tomorrow. So the mahi's not over, it still goes, and we love this game, so it doesn't matter. We're going to keep going hard, working for our whānau, working for everything we believe in this game that we love. So here to stay.
Yeah, and for the rest of the season, what are the from a team's perspective, what are the goals that you've set for the team this year?
I guess getting better every week is the goal for us, as long as we're not staying where we started, and building off today's performance and just getting better week by week.
Well, all the best for the rest of the season, and hope it goes well.
Thank you. Ngā mihi. Kia ora.
Yeah, that was nice too. Congratulations to both acknowledging that. I thought that their season had finished, Monty, but obviously things put on hold as well because of the tangihanga, and great to see them out giving it a go today. Like I say, they'll get better, but they'll need to as well if they want to challenge for the top.
And the double shift tomorrow for some of these players too, playing in the championship rounds of the competition, which is absolutely crazy. That is the love that you admire, and a lot of these wahine tour and what they're able to do, at this level and then even a little bit lower, close to home for the community. Yeah,
let's go down to Lisa Edwards-Rua, who's joining Fred too for some post-match observations. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, that's a platform.
No, that's good. Well, Lisa, dominant performance for the first up for your team.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I guess it is our first time playing together, so we knew, but we all do know how to play footy, and footy's a simple sport. But I think we did set a really good platform for ourselves to work on going into the next round. So we'll get to training next week and work on all of the stuff that didn't work for us today.
You did really well. I mean, you put real pressure on them, and then when you got close to the line, you actually finished really well.
Yep, I think we have real good calm composure in the middles from our 9s and our 13s. Like, they really control that middle area well. So when we are in good field position, it's just easy for them to identify where the weak points are and strike from there. So yeah. And
as a team and as a club or province, what are you looking to do this year?
Yeah, we definitely want to make it all the way. I think last year it was sad to see counties not make the finals last year. So this year we're really looking at and working on going all the way. So yeah, watch out for us.
All the best for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fred, and thanks also to Lisa, who was kind enough to have a corridor there. And you can probably hear them in the background there, just having some thoughts that they might have shared, but won't get a chance to. Week 2, next Saturday, the Orcas and the county's Manukau Stingrays. Hope you're able to tune in for that. Waikato lining up against the Auckland Vulcans as well. And that too is on Sunday of next week. Well, I hope you enjoyed the action here today. Stingrays too strong for Waikato with a 40-0 result from Massey Park out in Papakura. From me and Monty, thanks so much, Monty, for joining us on the program today. Lots to look forward to in the championship, both men's and women's going forward.
Exactly, exciting couple of weeks ahead with these tournaments. Some of these names that we've seen for the first time that are going to become household names in time, and who knows, could climb some heights to be seeing it NRLW or even in their NRL one day. Well,
on behalf of all who helped to bring the action to you from Massey Park and Papakura, wishing you well for the weekend. Hope you'll join us again next time around, where we bring to stage more of our rugby league talent up and down the country. I bid you farewell now from Massey Park out here in Papakura. Thanks for watching the Men's and Women's Championship right here in the home of New Zealand Rugby League, Sky Sport.